One of the most effective things a presenter can do is to involve those who are in the audience. But beware, asking people questions with others around them carries a fair amount of risk to the recipient of the question and to you. Let's have ourselves a pocket sized pep talk because clearly it's worth the risk, particularly when you know how to handle a worst case scenario.
A Pocket Sized Pep Talk, the podcast that can help energize your business and your life with a quick, inspiring message. Now, here's your host, Rob Jollis.
I've preached the following words for years. When you have a conversation with someone, the more the person speaks, the more they trust the person they're speaking with. This is also true of an audience. And the best way to accomplish this task is to ask questions of your audience. Seems so simple, but there is one potential landmine that awaits any presenter who asks questions to the audience. What happens if the answer to your question is wrong? That incorrect answer has the potential to create some rather significant issues. For instance, it can demoralize the individual. Imagine you're the courageous soul who decides to answer that question thrown out by a trainer in a training session, and your answer is greeted with the words, "Oh, no, that's not the answer I was looking for. Would someone else like to take a shot at this?" How would you feel if that was you in front of your peers and you had just received a response like that? Here's another example. It can demoralize the rest of the audience. Imagine that you're in that audience and you hear one of your colleagues receive a response like the one you just read. You'll be a little wounded. The person receiving the information was a little wounded. Those around you might be a little bit wounded. That's not the recipe for creating a positive environment within your audience. You're looking to engage them and have fun with them. You know what? It can also limit overall participation. Now that you're feeling sorry for the individual and not particularly safe in the environment you're in, how likely would you be to take a shot at the next question that's thrown out to the group? Finally, it can create potential snipers. Personally, I refuse to believe that people show up for a training session with the premeditated plan to be aggressive and disruptive. But when a presenter embarrasses a person in front of others, retaliation often comes from others later. Those in attendance who are put off by this kind of behavior don't want to appear argumentative or negative, so they'll often wait for the right opportunity. And when they see it or hear it, the presenter gets it right between the eyes. Maybe it's a controversial point, an unpopular stance the presenter must take, or something as simple as the misplacement of a handout. Rest assured, this homegrown sniper is now waiting to pounce. And when they do, presenters are often left wondering, gee, what got into that person? It's a tough situation because you have a responsibility for making sure whatever you're presenting is covered correctly. You just can't ignore a wrong answer. But fortunately, there are a handful of ways to handle this situation professionally. I'll give you 3. First, watch your questions. I know we all got hammered in school by direct questions with right and wrong answers. I'm not saying you can't eventually integrate questions like this once a group gets to know you and each other a little bit better. But until you've achieved that level of comfort, the safer bet is to stick to opinion-based questions that don't force recipients into right and wrong answers. 2, ask more questions. Often when people don't get the correct answer to a question asked, it can be traced back to not fully understanding the question. If you don't get the correct answer you're looking for, you can always take another shot or 2 at simplifying the question or providing hints to the answer within your follow-up. And 3, rename the responses. One of my favorite approaches is to rename or subtly change some of the words that make up the answers being received. Perhaps the answer to a question you're looking for is the state of Alabama, and the answer you get is the state of Georgia. Instead of telling someone, no, can someone else give it a try? You might ask, Well, you're down south, right where I was hoping you'd go with that answer. Let's slide over a few states. Put us in Alabama, and now you got it. See, if you are a presenter speaking in front of an audience, a manager speaking in front of a team, or simply an individual speaking to a group of people, getting others to participate will do wonders to how you and your message will be perceived. There just aren't any options other than to engage your audience, and with that engagement comes risks. Learning how to right a wrong answer will serve you well if or when one of those engagements goes off the rails.
Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's show, please rate and recommend it on iTunes, Outcast, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also get more information on this show and Rob at jollis.com.